Hey everyone, it's Alicia Atout, and welcome back to Knotfest Heavy Conversations. Today I'm joined by my fellow hosts, Daniel Dekay, Ryan J. Downey, and Cori Westbrook. Welcome back, everyone. How's it going?
Hi.
Peachy as
Hello,
fuck.
hello, hello. Yeah.
Hello. We have a lot to talk about, so we're just going to dive right in. First up, Slipknot have released another single from their forthcoming record, The End So Far, which is scheduled for release. A little reminder, everybody, September 30th. This song is called Yen, and holy shit, this album's going to be amazing. Just from the couple of songs they've dropped, they're such masters of subtle buildups that hold such immense payoffs. For me personally, in this track, when they eventually kind of explode from that really slow, melodic, soaring vocal into just an eerie, in-your-face, blasting middle eight, I was like, well done. I'm happy. I'm excited. So what were all of your thoughts the first time you heard Yen? Cori, let's start with you.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. Let's start. Okay. I feel like as soon as I said a name, everyone started talking.
No one, wait in line or anything. It was just, for me right now, with what we've heard so far from the record, I'm kind of really taken by how dark everything is. From the title of the album itself, the title of the first thing, we've got Dying Song, The End So Far. And now we've got a song with lyrics that are as the knife goes in, cut across my skin. When my death begins, I want to know that I was dying for you. I died for you. It's fucking dark. I love that. I love the darkness that surrounds Slipknot. I know it's often a huge spectacle and over the top and a lot about, community and bringing people together, but I love that we can still get real dark and creepy. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. And this one honestly is probably the most nostalgic for me of the three singles that have been released from this album so far, because Vermilion and Vermilion Part 2, easily my favorite Slipknot songs, and this is giving me just those vibes, that darkness, that kind of love that it's dangerous, and it's do you even want this kind of love? And it's so just visceral the way that this track is presented, and it's just taken me back to when Subliminal Verses came out and I was just a wee lass in the audience and everything. And so hearing this song, it's Vermilion Part 3 damn near is kind of what it feels like, with this level of darkness that's there. And there's a beauty in the darkness. It's not like other metal songs where it's just darkness for darkness sake. There is this intrinsic draw to this darkness. You shouldn't be walking down this dark hallway, but you're gonna do it anyway.
And then Downey, what were your thoughts when you found out that yet another single was released off of this new record?
I like the way you phrased that question, because it made me think about, I don't know how much the rest of you watch reaction videos from time to time, but I was going down a reaction video rabbit hole the other night, and I actually saw someone who's a fairly known reactor with a decent following that was complaining that a band whose record comes out a month from now has released 4 singles already. And I was thinking about Slipknot having 3 songs out. Yeah. And I was what a complaint, right?
Why would you complain about that?
That's what I was trying to understand. And so I wanted to kind of throw it out for the roundtable. The complaint was, we need more time to let the songs soak in, and
fuck off.
Singles should be more of an event.
I love it.
And you should leave a surprise for the album. And I was just thinking and it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because it's the
Absolutely.
same thing where if the band had just put out 1 or 2 songs, there'd probably be a reaction video being well, give us more. How come we've only heard 1 or 2 songs? So it's just interesting because, a band like Memphis Mayfire, for example, they had put out almost every song by the time the record came out. And Slipknot here, we're obviously Chapeltown Rag was really early, but I don't know, for me, I feel in this climate, in this day and age of Spotify playlists and people being very busy and having so much access to so much stuff, just keep it coming. I love that Slipknot has put out this many songs already from a record that comes out 2 months from now.
I feel if you love a band and you're just dying for everything to finally be in your hands and in your ears, please release the whole album if you want to, single by single, before it even drops. I'm all for that. So I don't know why people would complain.
Yeah,
it enhances the full album listening experience for me too. I find that if you have a lot of time to get familiar with if there's 5 singles released and there's 10 or 12 songs on the album, you finally get your hands on the full record and you're listening, and those songs you knew were already sprinkled.
Makes more sense together.
Totally.
ready. I can focus on the other songs now, getting into those. I think it's an enhancement. I think it's sometimes overwhelming on like release day if you had one single and then you've got 11 other songs to consume in one day. I think I have no issue with releasing a bunch of singles before the full album drops. I think it's smart, actually.
Yeah, and the way we consume music is just so much different than the old school traditional way of like, we're working a single for 3 months or whatever, and then we're working a follow-up single. And it's just music. It's all out there. It's all super available and accessible. And I really think for bands to stay relevant and to compete, so to speak, and even at the level of Slipknot, you have to be giving people stuff like on the regular.
No, people have such
sure.
small attention spans. Like, you need to keep them like that. Sorry, go ahead, Cori.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, strategically speaking, singles are the name of the game. There is a reason like pop and hip hop and those genres release, 5, 7, 9 singles from any given album. And there's a reason they've been doing that for 20 or more years. It's because keeping people constantly engaged with the artist is the best way to build up a fan base. Like, I work with a lot of tiny bands, and they always ask me, what's the best strategy for me to grow my streaming numbers? Singles. Just keep releasing singles. I have one artist that I know who has released 11 of the 13 songs on their album, and their streaming numbers, there is a line between album and then singles. It just whoosh. So strategically speaking, like, people sit there and they complain, oh, I like albums, I want the album, but the numbers don't really back that up anymore. Yes, the album, being immersed in it is a great experience, but when it comes to, growing as an artist, singles are the name of the game to keep people engaged.
Falling in Reverse hasn't released an album since 2017, and one of the singles that came out at the end of 2019 is platinum. Nothing else in his catalog is platinum. So, I mean, that says a lot about
it really does.
The way things come now.
I'm so happy that you mentioned working with smaller bands there, Cori, because our next topic really does go hand in hand with that, simply because the first ever in-person Pulse of the Maggots Festival took place in Birmingham this week, actually yesterday, featuring a ton of upcoming fresh talent. We've been involved with the previous festivals that were all done, of course, due to the pandemic, streaming online. When I was over in the UK, it was really interesting because they actually went to the offices to make sure that everything was ready for Birmingham. They went to over there to make sure and scout the place, the venue, all of that. And the fact that it actually happened, came to fruition, and all of these smaller, tinier bands are really getting a platform such as Knotfest to say, hey, this is exactly what we're about. Check it out. And everyone loved it. Like, it was really awesome to see it come together. So what were all of your thoughts on the first ever in-person Pulse of the Maggots Fest?
I am unbelievably proud to be part of this brand and the things that are being accomplished, because I do the Pulse of the Maggots stream, so I'm like super intimately connected with everything that is everything that is Pulse of the Maggots. Is I hold it so dear to my heart. I fight pretty hard for the underground, and being involved with a big platform like this one that also fights for the underground is so awesome to like bring those bands out of the underground, above ground. And I mean, I know that there's more coming. There's more plans to do more of these. And pride is the best way I can describe it. I am unbelievably proud to be part of this and to see these bands get this platform. And I want to see this shit grow up to be like Roadburn or something, where I don't know if everybody's familiar with that European festival. It's in the Netherlands. It's kind of the Tastemaker Festival. It's the one where you go and you're going to see a whole bunch of cool shit over 3-4 days, 6 odd stages. I want Pulse of the Maggots to hit that level where we are like, where people are coming to Pulse to see something amazing, and that we're known for bringing all of this amazing stuff together. And this is just the first step, and I am so excited.
We'll clap for that, because that is so cool to see it all come together and to come to fruition finally. Like I said, like, we've seen kind of all of the steps, all of the bands that were recording from random locations all over the world, and then all of them were finally brought together to do it. Like, it just felt surreal to finally see that happen. Dekay, what were your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, like kind of to expand on what you're saying. Of course, it's a very well curated festival, and I'm super stoked that the concept is to boost those young and upcoming bands. But like, for me, the super cool takeaway is seeing it grow from, like, I was recording intros for
Yeah,
that
we were.
sitting
Yeah,
in this
sitting.
chair, like a thing that was on the internet and free, and like we were hoping people would come, and maybe if we make a shirt, they'll buy the shirt too. Like we'll see.
Right.
Kind of like it was like we'll see what happens, and then it was like, okay, that worked. Like let's do it again. Let's try and make it better. Now it's like, oh yeah, by the way, like it's live in
Now
person.
it's real. Yeah.
That's
The
insane.
birthplace of heavy metal. Like I think it's so fucking cool to see it, you know, not only happening in person, but to be involved and see the scope of it, like starting it in an email thread. It's so cool to watch that seed sprout.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Downey.
Sprouting them seeds. Yeah, I'm same thoughts as Cori and Dekay, like that I was thinking the whole time since this topic came up, which is that, you know, it really is a celebratory moment for this thing that Knotfest has become over the last few years. I mean, really going, you know, all the way back for people who don't know, at the onset of the pandemic, it was really a moment where Slipknot and their management and Cori and Clown in particular were like, what can we do with all of this stuff that we've built around this festival that can't happen right now? You know, there were no shows, obviously. And you know, bringing a bunch of us in and really sort of turning Knotfest into this celebration of heavy culture beyond even just the festival itself and tied in with the festival. Pulse of the Maggots was such a big part of that. And I'm thinking exactly the same thing Dekay was thinking about, how we were recording these, like, you know, can you do an intro for this band, or which of these bands do you like, do you want to talk about? And
crazy.
yeah, sitting in this chair doing this virtual stuff and, you know, putting it in Dropbox off into the ether, and then seeing this virtual festival get assembled to like be in this moment where it not only is it something that's happened now in person, but that people care about and are paying attention to. And of course, the biggest thing, and to get back to what Cori was saying, just emphasizing new talent and young bands and bands that are, you know, making it happen for the first time and having a place to come together and have a little spotlight shown on them. Whatever small contribution we can make to helping those bands get to the proverbial next level it's goosebumps, you know. It makes you feel good to be part of, reminds you of why we do what we do.
It's so true. After, it's cheesy, guys, but whatever. Let's show our true colors. Even after the last time we did a roundtable, Downey sent a little email saying like, I'm really glad we get to do this. And just, it really does hit back to the camaraderie and the community, not only within Knotfest, and it's not just blowing
Airing
smoke,
me
it's
out.
true.
I'm supposed to be the most bitter and cynical of all of us. How dare you.
Right? So guys, like that really means a lot when it's coming from him. But it really does tie into just metal as a whole and the community that comes around it, and seeing things that are such a small idea turn to this massive one. So, you know, it's been really neat to see. But now we're going to dive in to the weekly questions. You already know what's coming. Favorite track of the week. What are you guys listening to at the moment? Dekay, go ahead.
Pretty stoked on the new Summerland single. Just dropped. It's called Edge of the Knife. It's the second single from a full record coming in September. If you're not familiar with Summerlands, it's Arthur Risk's band. And if you're not familiar with that name, well, you will be soon, I promise, by force. And yeah, it's really awesome. It's like, you know, Ultimate Sin era Aussie kind of groove and vibes meets like Dock and hooks and some of that like Lynchian riffing. And it's still got like healthy doses of doom and depression as well to kind of make it, you know, a little more special. Saw them live. It totally translates, you know, to a live stage as well. It's a new lineup on this record. It's fucking awesome. Cannot wait for the whole thing. Summerlands. Check that out. It should be on everyone's radar.
Downey, your pick.
Big shout out to Arthur, by the way. If you're an extreme metal fan, a modern extreme metal fan, one might say, and you buy physical media, pull out your records, pull out your CDs, read those credits, because you're going to see that dude's name pop up
On a lot of shit now.
Producer on a lot of stuff. In fact, he was the producer on the song that I'm going to talk about, which is Soulfly, Filth Upon Filth. Max fell in love with Arthur and his grimy production style. Arthur actually plays some of the solos in addition to one of his guys from his stable from that scene. You know, it's a very reinvigorated, exciting, mean, aggressive Soulfly album. And to have that come out, we're now almost 25 years on from the first Soulfly record, to have Max still be cranking stuff out, and then his Go Ahead and Die project with one of his sons. One of his other sons is in Soulfly. It's so cool that, to, you know, we don't celebrate enough our living legends, our icons in this heavy music thing. You know, someday when Max Cavalera has transcended into the spirit realm, we're all going to be like, oh my God, all this amazing stuff that Max Cavalera made. Well, the dude's alive and playing shows right now and is killing it and has a brand new record. So Totem, that's that Soulfly record. You should go check it out.
That's a crazy eye-opening way to think of it, you know? Like, we do celebrate these artists while they are still here, but a lot of the time it's not until something unfortunately happens where our eyes are open thinking, holy shit, they brought so much to the table and mean so much.
Yeah.
It was kind of like we were discussing last week on the panel. So yeah, that's a really interesting point.
We kind of can take them for granted because I mean Max is putting out a record with some project like every other year, and we're just kind of used to these reliably awesome Max Cavalera records, and it's like he's one of our greats.
I was super humbled at the Totem recording sessions. Arthur actually sent me a photo. Max was using one of my guitar picks for like, I believe almost every song on that record. He uses.
That's so sick.
Whenever I gave him that pick, like it was like literally would have been pre-pandemic. I gave him a fucking guitar pick. And yeah, Arthur's like, dude, you will not believe he insists on using this like beat up exciter pick. I'm like, dude, that is so sick. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I have it on my mind right now because I just saw for the first time. I hadn't seen one yet. But they recently put out a box set of the first 4 Soulfly albums, and it comes with a nice book, which I actually wrote, that tells the whole story of the first 4 Soulfly records. And Max and Gloria call me the Tribe Scribe because I've been writing about them for a long time. But sitting in it with Max, you know, for a couple of hours and going through the history of just those first 4 records and all the different lineups that the band has had and all the amazing players that have come through and the different genres and the world music flavors and everything, to have a record as good as Totem coming out right now and new songs dropping all the time. It's great.
And Cori, take it away.
Well, honestly, so one thing I do want to just shout out, staying on the Soulfly topic just for a little bit and tying it back into supporting the underground. When I interviewed Max about Totem, he actually cited 200 Stab Wounds and Undeath as some major influences on that album. So massive shout out to Max for repping the underground, because always. I mean, I love it. I love it when I see the big guys getting all excited about the new little guys. It just makes me so happy. But for my songs, the new track from Brutus called Liar, absolutely just adore that one. I'm also really super into Brimir. I don't know if people have heard of that band. They're kind of like melodic death metal meets power metal with a little bit of folk going on. It's just very fun. And if you need music to like charge into battle, that's what you need right there.
Are you doing that a lot lately?
Well, I don't want to talk about it. Maybe. And then
in the Hatebreed pit, you mean you're going to be charging into battle in the Hatebreed pit?
Yeah, I'll be in the pit in you know, on a horse. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then I just got this one. This Miko Ziggurat is this album. It's like one of the coolest grindcore albums I have gotten recently. They're out of Colombia. They were a Bandcamp roulette pick, so I found them completely at random. Right. But they bring like a weird amount of melody to the grindcore. Like, it is relentlessly heavy. It is punishing, but it is just the composition and the musicianship on it is so engaging. It's not just one of those things that you listen to and it's like, oh God, my ears are going to bleed. It's like, oh God, my ears are being punched. But you know what? I'm into it. I'm into the punishment a little bit, you know? Sorry.
She's like, one for
but
it.
yeah, those are my picks for the week.
Okay.
And shout out to Bandcamp Roulette, by the way. Anybody watching this who isn't familiar and isn't aware should be checking that out. It's such a cool concept.
I love it. It is my favorite game. And for those of you who don't know, go follow us on Instagram. There's a post every week. You comment a genre and a number between 1 and 100. I pick a random comment. I buy whatever album I land on, and then I tell you about it.
So much fun. My favorite segments are the ones that are just so organic, like nothing feels like work. You're literally, it's like, ooh, what's in the box? What do I get to play with now?
Exactly. That's what it is. It's like, ooh, what do I get today? Oh, okay. Right? It's going to be black metal number 42. Oh, righty.
That's so fun. My choice is something that I didn't actually realize came out a couple of weeks ago, but of course Anthrax are still on that high of celebrating the 40th anniversary, and there is a new live version of their track Bring the Noise with Chuck D. Both old school rap and metal have such a huge place in my heart. So this joining of epic forces together is just so powerful, so wonderful. And a lot of the time when people fuse rap and metal, like it's really bad. I know we've all heard it and we've all had those bands where we're like, oh God, please don't do it. But there's just
I'm trying to think of one band. I'm trying to think of one band that's like the worst. Like
oh, shut up. I know where you're going with this. Don't even. But no, it's just such empowering lyricism being shared with such intense attitude against like shredding guitars and double bass pedal. Where do you go wrong with that? So I was super hyped to see that live video, see them together in person filming it, and just hear that the music's fucking phenomenal. So that is my pick of the week.
Yeah.
But going back to quick picks, we have to kind of wrap today up. So let me know the tour festival announcement that you were most excited about. Cori, go ahead.
Oh man, I'm still riding high on the Lorna Shore announcement, to be honest. But being the deathcore diehard that I am, I mean, the Shadow of Intent tour that is coming through, super stoked on that one. Honestly, once fall hits, it is so hard for me to pick one. Amon Amarth is coming on my birthday, so I'm not gonna survive through the end of the year, I don't think, because the fall schedule is just batshit.
It's a lot.
It is.
Downey.
I'm going to give a shout out to the Global Citizen Festival, which is happening September 24th in Central Park. That's been going on for a while. Of course, this band that you might have heard of that I like a little bit called Metallica was just announced yesterday as taking part in it. I actually got to have breakfast once upon a time with the guy Hugh Evans, who is the co-founder and CEO of Global Citizen. Global Citizen, I could take forever explaining what it is, but it's awesome and it's rad and you should check it out. It's a very cool organization with a cool origin story. This guy Hugh started it in Australia as a teenager, and it's taken off, and they do this festival every year that in order to get a ticket, you basically buy your way in with activism. They have this whole like app where you accumulate points by whether it's educating yourself with a particular video or going out and physically doing something, accumulating enough points to get yourself to go see Metallica. So that's my pick.
Okay, and Dekay, take it away.
I'm still super stoked at the idea of In Flames and At the Gates touring Europe, because like if you're into Melodeath, like that's kind of like your holy grail of old school Gothenburg sound, literally created by those two bands on the same stage. So that's cool. But outside of the box, there's a weird one. How about this tour? 25-foot inflatable Ozzy Osbourne statue that's being driven across the country, and they're posting it like outside of shows and festivals, and it's been in LA.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You saw it there down at Comic-Con, and it was at Sturgis. Like, it's just ridiculous, but it's on tour, and it's like a whole publicity thing for the record, patient number 9. So I don't know, it's kind of cool if you want to go see Ozzy on tour, but not Aussie, but big Aussie, you can do that.
That's so much fun.
Isn't that fun?
Think it's so neat. I haven't seen that though, surprisingly, which I think is crazy, but now I'm going to keep a lookout for it at all these different festivals. For me, the one that I'd have to go with is Misfits, Alice Cooper, and the Distillers. They announced a Halloween show, and the show is in Texas in October. And as much as I do love these two bigger acts, like the Distillers are magic. Anytime that I see Brody, whether it's performing, listening to her growing up, the raspiness yet the sultry sexiness of her vocals against heavy music, so good. So that one's one I really want to catch if I can squeeze it in. I don't know if I have a booking that day, but if I can, like, I want to be there. So
that's your booking that day. You should make that your booking.
I know. I should just ditch. I should ditch the actual paid gig and just be like, "Now we're going to see the Distillers." Make
it a paid gig. Come on, you are the greatest hustler.
That's true. You'll
figure it out. Yeah.
No, 100%. Well, I want to say, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to chill with me, everybody, right here on Knotfest Heavy Conversations. On behalf of my incredible fellow hosts, Daniel Dekay, Ryan J. Downey, and Cori Westbrook, I have been Alicia Atout, and we will be seeing you next week. Bye, everybody.